Is it possible you suffered a shipwreck, victim of a sea monster? The barrier around you are the walls of a whale's stomach. Is there a chance for you to survive? And more importantly, escape? According to experts, it's conceivable that something like a blue whale, the baleen is one of the largest creatures to ever have lived on the earth. The baleen has no teeth, so he isn't going to chew you up the African elephants, but also half the passengers from a ship like the Titanic. But alas, this is where the swallowing act ends. A human body cannot advance further than the entrance to the whale's throat. The track is designed for much smaller prey. First of all, you'll fall into total darkness and start to frantically find yourself in the midst of a viscous soup of all these creatures. Then, he will begin trying to swallow all his food. But as previously mentioned, you simply won't fit into his throat. The whale will probably can dive as far as 650 feet or 200 meters, but well, then at that depth you will most likely drown. Although lucky for you, these animals more often digest food at a depth of around 65 feet or 20 meters. In this case, you really will have a chance to survive if you struggle with all your might, falling into the jaws of a toothed whale, such as an orca, really big, making it possible to swallow truly large prey and not just hold it in their mouth to spit out later. Or on the way into the sperm whale's mouth, there's a high probability of getting ghastly wounds or injuries from its tear to the sperm whale's mouth. Then the mucous membranes of the animals digest. Your body will quickly begin to disintegrate. You will begin to suffocate. There are tons of stories on social networks about successful journeys through a whale's stomach, merely being conveyed in order to attract attention for several of these incredible, almost unbelievable events. In 1896, expedition near the Falkland Islands, and hunting for their prey, a huge sperm whale, a man named James Bartley. When they cut open the stomach, they found something big. It turned out to be the missing sailor, James Bartley. He had spent almost 16 hours inside the sea monster. His hands and face had turned a deathly pale from the gastric juices. Skin was covered in a thick net of wrinkles, as if he'd been boiled alive. Spend the next fortnight in a state of near insanity. He didn't seem to recognize any of his shipmates. At the end of the third week, the sailor came back to his senses, only the unnaturally pale skin on his face. You'll also need to move much faster through the belly of a toothed whale in order to get through all 4 chambers of its stomach. The real fun begins when your acid-burned body gets to the throat. If this is a toothless blue whale, toothy sperm whale, you can get out and into the mouth, no problem. But after that, you'll have to get through the phalanx of sharp, dagger-like teeth. When you successfully get through these, you'll finally find yourself free, but perhaps minus a hand or a leg.